All right, everybody, I just wanted to go live and complete today's Daily Space Weather video where I left off. I think I said MANSA. I was talking about MANSA. And again, I was not talking about Mansa Musa. This gentleman here, the warlord king of northwestern Africa during some period of time, he lived between 1280 and 1337. What do you think about that, Twitch viewers? So yeah, I'm not talking about that Mansa. I'm talking about a different 1337 Mansa. The one of Make America Not Suck Again. So if you notice, last year at this time, you probably didn't think America sucks, and now you might think it sucks. And for all you non-Americans viewing, when Americans think America sucks, it might be time to start biting your fingernails. However, I guess I might as well tell folks that the world is not ending, so congratulations. Most of the infrastructure that you like isn't destroyed. It's not destroyed. Don't forget to listen to people whispering on the internet. It's insane. So anyway, please leave a comment if you disagree that last year at this time America didn't suck, or if you agree, or if you perhaps have a totally different opinion. But in any case, regardless of whose opinion you like, whose opinion you hate, largely making America suck or making America have any kind of a spot on the continuum of suckage to ownage is up to each person because, well, that's how it works.
Maybe the current reverses.
I won't talk about anything about abolishing police, except to say that if you prefer warlords, please abolish the police. And now let's talk about Nestle Quick. There's some flowing in this image, and it's, you may be quick to understand that it's some circular logic, if you know what I'm saying. So,
golly sake, does that working current turn around every 11 years? That seems, I don't know, maybe, but that's a big one. So
it's a big one. And when I say a big one, I mean a big dose of circular logic that makes no sense and doesn't back up half of the observations that we see. So while it explains about as much about cosmology as it does about the way the sun operates, it's let's just say stars aren't electric, guys. So stop being so ossified in your beliefs.
So
here's another clip, and I would note this Nestle Quick. Let me this Nestle Quick that's going between Gareth and Don Scott here. I'm not sure if this is actually a Birkeland current or not. There could be electrons. There could be Nestle Quick. And I'm not sure if the is this current traveling in both directions? Is there one going this way and one going this way, perhaps, creating Markland convection in between? And is there a sponsorship associated with Nestle Quick here? That's really what I'm interested in. So yeah, let us know what you think about that. Apparently, what this is all about here is this fascinatingly cool looking animation. This is electrons, and this is a subsurface plasma stream, I think, is what Gareth has concocted with this animation. Here's another clip.
It occurs to me that in a transformer, the primary current does not have to reverse in order for the secondary current to reverse.
All right, so I'm not going to even talk about what kind of transformer he's talking about or why he would say such a thing or anything else, but make sure you catch some comedy while you are locked down, if you are, in loving memory of David Sell, who gave his job away through this complicated pamphlet that looks like a death notice, but it's really just the death of his career at this company that he was working for, as people have been making some rather elaborate here's my 2 weeks letters Here's one on a Wendy's sign. And I don't know what the URL is. I don't really care. I saw it on Facebook. Here's one. Here's a picture of a dinosaur. Here's a drawing of a dinosaur. It's also my 2 weeks notice. So anyway, the point is, break your pattern. If you're in a pattern that's no good, break your pattern. And if you haven't gone to some of the patterns that are at smAsho.com/forum, by the way, one of the things you should do is you should keep a dream log. And we've actually started one here on the forum. If you want to share dreams with the public, you may get witty comments like, I have no idea, can we email Bill Cosby in prison about this dream here involving Buzz Osborne from the Melvins barging into his bedroom totally naked with a sunburn on the front but not the back. Another thing, you could laugh your way to sleep, or perhaps laugh yourself to be so hyper that you can't go to sleep through sharticles. Perhaps wake up and idiotically try to read the news while you're in bed. You may find articles such as the ones regularly featured on phys.org's Earth section about computer models that are suggesting things such as the world may be so hot that the entire planet evaporates in less than 4 seconds, or perhaps we're going into an ice age, or perhaps the moon is made of green cheese and a new company has emerged to make an amazing spacecraft out of Ritz crackers. You may want to look at our playlists if you haven't seen them yet. If you head to the YouTube page, it's youtube.com/smAshomash. There's a great interface there. You click on playlists and you click on terms defined, right? The first one you'll get is the Sharticle. It's an article that's full of you-know-what. Here's a clip. And so not only is, by the way, CO2 was at 7,000 back here. It's now at 419. If you want to hear a little more about that, head to the Sharticle under the Terms Defined playlist. It's only got 3 videos in it, but look for more to come. And if you have suggestions, leave us a comment, and we may consider doing it. We've only got the Sharticle, HIPAA, and ethics in the Terms Defined playlists. Anyway, that's what a Sharticle is. And let's move on to the value-added services that we usually do in the Daily Space Weather videos, and don't split them in half. But we've done it today just because somehow our stream stopped, so wouldn't want to not include this stuff. At least some of the warnings have gone away here. There was a flash flood warning in Iowa, which is now gone. So congratulations. And we've got a heat advisory very close to my location, which is in eastern Pennsylvania. Next, looking at an explanation of the polar hexagon on Saturn, which probably isn't a surprise to a lot of people that it has to do with magnetic fields and jet streams. Oh, gee, who would have thought? Yeah, it's oriented at the poles because of the way things like atmospheres are electric in that they act like capacitors in between energy from space. And things like magnetism and so on. So yes, it turns out the hexagonal polar regions, they behave like alternating layers on the Earth. So here is the Earth, and we always show the jet streams on the channel. Here's the North Pole's jet streams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 lobes. Oh wait, this one's on the wrong side. Never mind, there are 6. Look at this. Okay, 1. For all you numerology freaks that think this is anything besides arbitrary, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. There's your 6 lobes on the North Pole jet stream. Now, if you look at this in 10 hectopascals, it's not going to look like that, because this would be more similar to the view that we're looking at on Saturn, but Saturn is much bigger and more dynamic in a lot of ways than the Earth system. So there's what's going on at 10 hectopascals. There's 10 hectopascals. Here's the jet stream of the south of the planet. I believe Saturn does have a hexagonal polar jet stream at each pole. Please correct me if I'm wrong. 1, 2, 3. There's no 6. Anyway, Alright, so here's the eastern world's jet stream. Pretty extreme cold weather dropping down there toward the Himalayas. And here's the western jet stream. Extreme cold air dropping into the Bermuda. Bermuda is very cold right now, believe it or not. You can tell just by looking at that. Did you know? NextWindy.com's pressure maps. We look at this daily. I'll let this advance into tomorrow at noon. It's the GFS forecast. You can download this app for free on your smartphone, by the way. Check out all the dry air over the Atlantic. It's entirely anticyclonic in nature. It's all rotating clockwise. And let me take the opportunity to check the chat. All right. And I've returned. I've returned. All right, and let me get on to the. We're looking at the water vapor maps here for Europe and Africa. There are those. Water vapor maps for the Far East and Oceania. Next, looking at lightningmaps.org. Lots of lightning striking southern Europe there. Check it out. Coming in right around a bunch of volcanoes. Lots of lightning, really worldwide, actually. It's quite an active moment. And in the U.S., Baton Rouge, you may want to batten down the hatches. Alexandria and Baton Rouge. Alexandria, go out and look east. You might see quite the light show in that location. And I am more frozen than the thoughts of people that don't understand physics. Next, looking at the U.S. water vapor map. That's not a U.S. water vapor map. That's a Doppler radar, folks, which is ground-based radar equipment, by the way. And yes, it can affect the cloud layer. It just usually doesn't because they want their instruments to work right. So we see that strong string of thunderstorms there over Louisiana and Mississippi. Let's zoom in for once. And it doesn't look that bad. Please return. There we go. And there's the full U.S. map. And some of Mexico, too. Leave a comment if you're viewing from Mexico. I somehow doubt it. And next we'll look at the water vapor map. We'll ignore that. The dangers of live streaming. Oh my goodness. All right, so here's the U.S. water vapor map. And these storms that were in Iowa earlier are finally being pushed to the east. And we got a lot of dry air here. So a lot of odd movement over here. Sudden cloud nucleation, it looks like. Check that out. And that's going to be our zoom in spot. Check it out. Sudden cloud nucleation. Massive pressure gradients right there. You have to have them for those things to do that. Because keep in mind, folks, these things all tend to move in this direction. All right. And hey, thanks, Smash Team. Pardon the earlier video debacle. I didn't even know that I wasn't streaming anymore until I wasn't streaming. So don't forget to share the content on your social media. Visit the links below the video. Please support us if you are willing and able. Give Smash staff a raise. She is not well paid. She's paid even worse than me. And she's making 25% of practically all of the revenue. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Thanks also to our subscribe stars. Thanks to our patrons. The main source of funding does come from Patreon as far as these videos go. And let's take take a look at some more images of the local yellow dwarf here. Here's the latest on Sunspot 2765. There's the close-up, and we'll zoom out so you can see the location of that. And it looks like all the trailing umbrae are gone, so that's going to be classified by an alpha class. I'd say 99% of the 99% chance that'll be considered an alpha class flare sunspot within a couple hours, because this is certainly looking like it's degrading. I believe Mary agrees, and here is the timestamp for that, just so you know. It's 10:15 UT. Here's the latest ultra high res. Oh, okay, 1035. There's one from 1035. And there's a great view of that. And let's look at one more video image, the 131 angstroms 48-hour view. And by the way, we have more bonus features, so go nowhere except to some other place where you may be going while continuing to view the screen and not drive a car off the road or into another vehicle. Anyway, some interesting activity came out of that sunspot, to say the least, including a couple of M-class flares, and indeed we were streaming in between those two M-class flares and viewing the live premiere right as the second one happened, I think. It was very close. And that was before it even rose over the limb. All right, so let's talk about some brilliant videos. Here's one from Isaac Butterfield. Shout out to Isaac Butterfield. Quite brilliant. Check this out. It's about ASMR on TikTok. Now, TikTok recently became famous because of a lot of Americans signing up for the Chinese social media company and making ridiculous videos where they waste their personal protection equipment and perform very complicated choreographed dance procedures, wasting both time and money as well as energy in hospitals. Here is one of the hottest things you could ever possibly imagine, pardon my sarcasm.
Oh, nice one.
Let's see if we can get a little more of this.
Oh, nice one. The classic, the perfect content to really launch my career. I know what I'll do. I'll chew on a fucking microphone.
All right, so anyway, pardon his French. Here's another one. Now this is one of my personal favorites. This is not these two.
No.
So this chick here, I don't know, in Cyrillic, I don't know how to say that. What she's going to do is take this plastic bag full of liquid and stick it in her mouth and then bite it and then, I guess, consume the liquid inside the bag for some reason. Check it out, it's hot. Super, super hot, pardon my sarcasm. What a great idea. I don't know what... Is it... Could you is it possible to cringe? Could you have a greater level of cringe? So here's a guy whispering.
Oh, get the fuck out of my ears.
I don't know what. Check this out. Here's a guy whispering. I guess this is some kind of a turn on for somebody. I don't understand it, and there certainly is no known psychology for this. So this could be a new evolution of the human species. Yeah, if you thought the internet was horrifying last year.
ASMR Part 1.
Some guy that looks like JB Justin Bieber. And I guess here's one more. I don't what. Oh, it's check out. My raisin toast brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Your raisin toast is like better than yours. I could bite into it, but I'd have to charge. All right, I apologize if I caused you to try to go track down your girlfriend as a result of seeing these sexy videos. Another channel you should watch if you're into things like firearms would be
That whole side of it.
the Forgotten Weapons channel, okay? Here is a gas-ejecting pistol. I swear to God, you see this little aperture that he's holding back here, this little thing right here? That is to prevent the round from coming out and hitting you in the face. It has a gas block and a gas tube. It's just a novelty. It was only produced in prototype mode, and you can't even eject 6 rounds because the round that's being fired is obviously the one up here, and the gas from that comes out the barrel and ejects the round. Forgotten Weapons. Shout out to Ian. What a brilliant channel. And last but not least, check out these SJWs. Michael Knowles is not the SJW to which I'm referring. Shout out to Michael Knowles. Now, you may think he's a Nazi. I'm not sure. You'll probably think he's a Nazi. Check out this video. Now, you may have seen this before, but this is amazing. This woman, I don't know. I don't want to misgender anybody. This person is, she's convinced that Donald Trump is starting another Holocaust.
For patriots only, you've been identified as one of President Trump's fiercest and most loyal defenders, and according to your donor file, you'd make an excellent addition to the Trump army.
So, because if you donate enough money to become an official member of the Trump army, he'll send you a hat that says "Keep America Great," and it's a camouflage CAGA hat. And apparently that's the same, or it's somehow correlated. He's trying to, she later clarifies this. I'll play her clarification in a minute. But what she's saying is that there's some kind of this is some mental gymnastics. All right, let's just cut to the chase.
Hitler made Jews wear yellow stars.
Hitler made Jews wear yellow stars. So you see what she's saying here, right? What she said is hats, right, which say CAGA on them and are camouflage, equals Judenstars. So now she clarifies in a later video. We'll play part of it.
But that's not how the algorithm works, so I have been told. So here's what basically went down. Me, a Jewish woman, saw swastikas, all lives matter, lots of propaganda.
I'll agree with her on the propaganda part. And this is one of my the previous video that I showed you a clip of is one of my favorite on the video right now. The one that's, I guess it's entitled "Proof of Trump's Deadly Plan." Back to her.
Lots of other World War II kind of Hitlery stuff. And so I also saw this email saying that Trump supporters can donate to get this hat to form an army. A clarifying thing that I found out from people is that just because you are a registered Republican does not mean that you got this email, but if you...
All you have to do is sign up for a list to get the email. So, for instance, I don't know, just hypothetically speaking, if you're a member of Antifa, or is it Antifa? I don't want to mispronounce, I don't want to misaccent anybody. Anyway, what she's doubling down is what she's saying. She's doubling down. She's saying these camo hats are clearly the same thing as Judenstars. Please continue.
Donated to the Trump campaign, then you got the email. Hitler did something very, very similar, but sort of in the reverse order. But
it's an ad for the hat. It's not, you don't get the email because you contributed. You get the email because they want you to contribute. And as a promotional gift, you get a hat made in China, which is camouflage and says CAGA, Keep America Great Again, or something.
By making Jewish people wear a yellow star, whereas now we are asking Trump supporters to distinguish themselves with this special hat. So yes, this freaked me out, and it should freak you out too.
Lastly, check this one out. Here's somebody on again, shout out to Michael Knowles for doing the brilliant analysis. I mean, I was sitting here saying the same thing when I was pausing these videos, but check it out. So this woman here, she says after being asked, what about shutting down the police, defunding police, apparently she wants warlords. Let's see.
Our police department, which gives us legal mechanisms in the very short term. You know, there's lessons from all over the country, all over the world that we're looking to take immediate steps.
Now, I have never heard a libertarian, the people who want practically no government at all, say they would like to defund the police. Libertarians typically will say, yes, road building, national armies, border security, police, fire, and ambulance, certain things should be run by the government because they require such an outlay of resources that most private people can't do it. But just the idea to dismantle a police force instantaneously, it might not be that wise.
While we work toward building the systems that we would need to imagine that.
While we work toward building the systems we need to imagine that future, is what she says. So we're going to use our imagination instead of police, where in the places where we defund the police. Watch, look, and now the CNN reporter astutely asks her, but what if somebody kicks in my door in the middle of the night?
Future.
Do you understand that the word dismantle or police free also makes some people nervous? For instance, what if in the middle of the night my home is broken into?
A valid concern, right? I mean, wouldn't that be the sort of thing you'd think of? Maybe that already is the sort of thing you think of, which is why you do certain things to protect yourself. Perhaps certain things that, I don't know what her name is, I feel terribly. The CNN correspondent here is concerned with, what if I'm being violently attacked? What should I do? Apparently, it's use your imagination to imagine what it's like to be in a place that doesn't have police protection.
Who do I call?
Yes, I mean, I hear that loud and clear from a lot of my neighbors. And I know, and myself too, and I know that comes from a place of privilege because...
So we've got imagination, and privilege going on.
For those of us for whom the system is working, I think we need to step back and imagine what it would feel like to already live in that reality.
So just to extrapolate this, as I like to carry things to their logical conclusions, if you were, say, I don't know, let's say there is a horrible lithium-magnesium fire burning inside of your skull, and you were trying to, contact the fire department, but you couldn't because somebody was trying to imagine what the future of the fire department was going to look like, I think that might be a problem because, for instance, one of the ways alarm systems work, folks, I don't know if you're aware of this, but some very sophisticated alarm systems out there. But see, if there are no police to show up, then you see what's the alarm going to do exactly? It could make noise. So does that mean that you have to go and attack whoever? Like, what is she? Please continue.
Where calling the police may mean more harm is done.
You wouldn't want to call the police. I have the same expression on my face right now that Michael Knowles has. You may not want to call the police if somebody kicks in your door in the middle of the night out of privilege because more harm could be done. Did you get that? All right, just checking. So since I would never want to end any sort of a daily space weather oriented video on such a note, I'll just show you a nice, cool, soothing blue view of the sun. Here's the 335 angstroms view. And we'll be back with more content shortly.